Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It is December 18th, and it's been 5 weeks since we started propagating figs. And today we're going to propagate a few more, and we're going to give an update on our propagation, see how things are going. Okay, I have a few more cups here. I've got 9 more figs to propagate. Now these here, when they send you cuttings like these, big, these are some nice cuttings. They got plenty of energy, should survive fire. These are LSU Gold, and these ones here are Socorro. Now last year I tried to do Socorro, but the guy that sent me the cuttings sent them from somewhere out of the country, and it didn't list that that's where they were coming from. I don't know why he would want to do that, but it took them so long to get there, like about 30 days. And being the time it was and temperatures and all kinds of factors, the cuttings just didn't look good when they came. But I went ahead and tried them, and none of them took off. But this video here, the reason why I'm showing planting more cuttings, because I've added quite a few more varieties that I'm to my taste of figs. But what I'm doing now, you can see in the earlier video I had quite a bit of fail on a fungus. So I'm doing this a little bit different. I'm not using my Pro Mix FLX for them now. What I'm using is my old mixture, which is a third part compost, third part peat moss, and a third part perlite, and that's by volume, not weight. And normally was using, last year I was using sifted compost, but it's wood chip compost, but it's this year I'm not sifting it till it's real fine. I'm leaving the bigger pieces in there and stuff. And also what I'm doing is, on these, I actually sterilize my cutters because I want to see if I can't get to close to 100% propagation, which I should be able to. But also, which I wash these down. I've started washing again when I get them, just some mild soap, cold water. And then after I wash them, and I dry them off, and then I'll cut the ends to where I want them. And then I spray them, and you can kind of see the bubbling there. But I spray them with one part peroxide and 10 parts water. So that way, chances it could kill anything that might be on them. And then once I put them in the pot, what I've been doing is I've been spraying my natural, which I did a video on fungal gnats. Being I've seen a few there, I'm not going to give them a chance to even start. And if the fungal gnats are coming out of compost or peat or something, if there's eggs there, this will kill them off the bat. And it is an organic product. BTI is what it is, and a lot of you are familiar with BT. But anyway, I spray them with that, and then once I get them watered in, I take and spray them with my fungicide, which is a teaspoon of baking soda to a quart of water and just a little bit of soap in there, dishwashing detergent. And as always, I like the plant-based detergent. But anyway, let me get started here wrapping these, because I'm going to be wrapping them now. All right, when it comes to wrapping them, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to dry off any extra peroxide. I don't want a bunch of moisture up underneath my parafilm. Now, if you're not familiar with parafilm, it's just it's a tape. We use it in grafting. In fact, they've got a grafting tape that works a little bit better. Some say, or a budding tape, excuse me, not a grafting tape, a budding tape. But what I'm going to do, I have just been wrapping the ends, but I'm going back to a method I used before. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm trying to ensure that I don't get fungus, or try to eliminate the possibility of getting as much fungus or the fungi growth on the stem. And plus this will keep the cutting moisture. Last year I was using my totes and putting the lids on to keep the humidity up, and I got away from that. And the reason was, and we're stretching this as we're putting this over there, the reason was there was a lot of cuttings were trying to grow roots up on the stem, and then when you release the moisture, you'd have to try to do something to keep it from taking and drying it out too quick. You shock it into a different situation. And definitely you don't want to cause any extra stress on any of your plants. And what happened was, a lot of them, they were growing good in that really extreme condition with the extra moisture, but once you took them out of there, you ended up with a situation to where they didn't cope as easy, just shocking them into a drier situation. Even though it was some humidity, it was so much lower. So the ones that I gradually removed the top on, they did pretty good, but the ones that I just took it off when I started that, they didn't do so well. Now, as always, plant your cutting where your old leaf scar there is below where your little bud is. Now, what we're going to do once we get these, I'm going to talk and get it upside down, which was not be a normal thing, but not to say it don't happen. I'm going to finish these, and for you new ones, now you can see I'm stretching this tape. This tape is biodegradable, so it'll last long enough to get your roots started good. And when your cutting starts growing, it'll actually push its buds through it if it's stretched like that. So don't worry about it covering that up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the rest of these cuttings that I have, and then we'll see what it's looking like on the ones that's already been propagated. What I didn't mention too in my process that I've changed is I've actually got away from taking and putting any root stimulator on it. Now, you can use root stimulator, but if you remember my video, or if you hadn't subscribed, you go back to the best ways to propagate figs. And I did an experiment where I did it with rooting hormone, without rooting hormone in a certain way, and then with just nothing, because I was shaving the bottoms. I was using rooting hormone, and I tried the different methods. I guess what I'm getting at, and what ended up happening was the ones that didn't have anything done to them rooted just virtually just about as fast. So don't think that you got to have all these things for fig cuttings. Now I am going to do some orange cuttings, some orange tree cuttings, and I'm going to try two methods with it and see how it goes. And one of them I will be using rooting hormone, one I won't be, and we're going to see what happens as far as with these cuttings, you know, which way seems to work best. But anyway, like I say, that's the change I've done with this. It has worked in the past, and we're gonna say this is an experiment too. And the task of seeing what is actually trying to sprout. It's just a matter of going through each one of these, even though they have leaves. Now, it ain't necessarily going to have roots. And I always take a few of these out. So as I do this, now this one here, when you start seeing the top looks like it's kind of dried up, chances is this is probably going to be a fail. I'll leave it in. There's no kind of disease in there. But we're just checking the roots, and some take a while. You see this one here, it's little, but there's roots hiding behind this little piece there. So what we're going to do, and this was one of the odd pieces. It was just a little piece with a small limb coming off, so I planted it. But this one's ready to move out of there. Now, this one here, I'm leaving it because it still has green, but you can see how the leaves have dried up, but it still has green tip there. So I'm still going to leave it and see if it does any good. Now, this is one of my favorite figs. Of course, a lot of these, they're just, sometimes they're fast, sometimes they're slower, but my compost fig, it's a nice berry flavored fig. And you can see it, maybe you see this little fungal gnat running around here. So you can tell we still have it. When I do this, I'll water them, I'll treat them, make sure I get that gnat draw in there, and get them fixed up. But anyway, I'm going to go through the rest of these. We'll see how many we've got this time. And here's what we got this week. We have 7 more. We have a couple more of our green Essica, and we got a black mission, one of our SFA, Dr. Creech ones, one of our compost figs, and we got 2 of our Texas Everbearing that's ready to pot up. We have 2 losses here. We have one of our Desert Kings and a Cadota. This Desert King you can see up along the side of it, and we're going to pull it out. It's just the bark layer or skin of it's just come off. Whatever it was is eat it up, and this one here is dried out, and so it's probably rotted too. So anyway, that's where we're standing. So we've got most of the bad ones out. We're down to 70 on our loss end, which is really high still. When we add this 7, we're up to 46 on the ones that survive. So we're starting to work our average back up. Hopefully it'll continue. But if you want to see more and follow along, just hit that subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified, and give it a big thumbs up. Enjoy your garden.